We want to stir thoroughly. If you get two things with the resin, accurate measurements and thoroughly mixed, you should really have good results. Those are the two most important things when mixing resin. So we want to scrape the bottom and scrape the sides and scrape off our stir sticks, okay? And we want to mix slowly. We don't want to whip. We don't want to add more bubbles than the chemical process is already going to add to the resin. And you can kind of notice now that it looks like angel hair. You've got like cloudy white angel hair looking. And as you continue to mix, it will clear up. Also, Easy Cast resin does not like humidity, does not like water, okay? And so water will make your castings cloudy. So if you're up in the north and it's cold, working in a damp basement, and your castings are coming out sticky and cloudy, it could be that your resin is cold and there's too much moisture in your air, okay? So those can be things that are going wrong with your castings, okay? So that's just a little tip for you. Okay, so our timer is fixing to go off right here. So we're going to pour into a second cup. The theory behind pouring into a second cup is that we're going to leave behind in the first cup any unmixed resin. And then we'll thoroughly mix up our resin by pouring it here in this second cup. We're also going to start with a new stir stick. So we'll start our timer again and we'll mix for 1 minute. Now you can reuse these cups. You can use a little bit of household cooking spray that comes in the can. You can spray a little bit in your can, in your cup here, and use, I like the shop paper towels because they don't shed as much lint, and wipe your cup out and then use another shop paper towel with a little bit of acetone on it and do a final wipe on your cup. And also on your tools and stuff. That's a good way to clean your tools. And so you'll notice now that the resin doesn't have any more of those white angel hair looking threads in it. And so there was our other minute. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set aside this cup up of mixed resin, and we're going to let it rest. And that way the bubbles will degas here in the cup instead of in your mold. Okay, so if you need to, what I suggest is set your timer for 5 minutes and check on your resin and see if it's been mailman, see if it's been degassed, see if you're happy with it. If it needs a little more, reset your timer for 5 more minutes, okay? And keep doing that. You usually have a maximum of about 20 minutes. And if you've gone to 20 minutes, you better be ready to pour now, okay? So, just set your timer to keep a check on it. Has degassed here in the cup, okay? So, I'm going to fill the cavity about 1/3 full, and I'm going to only fill it that full because I want to have a colored back on it. So I'm going to shoot it here with the heat gun. I don't leave my heat gun over the mold for very long because it will melt your mold. So then I'd want to take my pieces and embed them in my resin. And anytime you're going to embed, you want to slide your pieces in with the theory of moving any air bubbles out as you move your embedment in. Instead of laying it down and entrapping a bubble, you would hopefully move the bubble out when you displace the air there. And then you would put other pieces. I had them laying here and I moved them. So then your eyes that you would use, and then I used some springs, some round pieces there for my eyes. And you could use a piece like this for the nose. Just whatever you wanted to use. And then once you have your embedments in there, you can pass your heat gun again over that to pop any more bubbles that have risen to the top. And then you want to check underneath and make sure that you didn't trap any bubbles. Make sure you don't tilt that mold and drop any of that resin in your eye though, okay? Your pieces harden, cure to a gel stage or to a hard stage, which I have some here that they have cured to a hard stage. And so now they're ready to have some of the white background poured. So here we're going to take some resin and add some color to it. So we'll take a little bit of resin there. And it's normally 1 drop to 1 ounce. And then we'll stir that up. And with these small cups, you can flex them to where they are almost closed, and you can really, this way you can really control your flow. You don't want to fill your mold cavities all the way up to the top. And then that way you won't get that little edge on them that you have to file away. So you can almost control your pour drop by squeezing these little cups like that. So now we would set that aside and let that cure. And here we have a mold where some of the pieces